In this video, I'm going to show you how to use background agents with Cursor AI so you can delegate work for them, go for a walk, make a coffee, or do something else. And when you come back, they'll create a pull request for you so you can review. Additionally, I'm going to show you how to integrate BugBot, which is the AI code reviewer from Cursor, so it can automatically review your pull request. What we are going to need for this tutorial is Cursor. Then we need cursor.com/dashboard and also a GitHub account. Cursor's background agents work with GitHub. So the first thing we need to do is go create a repository on GitHub. I'll click new here and I'll name the repository Cursor AI background agents. I'll set it to private and I'll create it. I'll go into my project, which is this crypto tracker that I have built from a previous tutorial. And I'll just set the origin to the GitHub repository that I've created. We can see the origin is the Cursor AI background agents that we just created. Now we'll quickly push our code to GitHub and start integrating GitHub with Cursor. We'll go to cursor.com/dashboard and on integrations, we'll see GitHub and then we'll click connect. And we'll make sure that we've logged in with the same email as the email that we have on Cursor. Then we'll go ahead and click connect for GitHub and I'll select my GitHub user where I've previously created a repository, and I'll give Cursor access only to the selected repository that I've created, which is the Cursor AI background agents. Install and authorize. This process connects the GitHub repository that I've just created to my code editor. We see now that GitHub has been connected and the background agents are also connected. Integrations and background agents, they're both connected to GitHub. That's pretty much it. Now we are going to start our first background agent. We're going to open the chat and here we're going to select background agent. And we're going to ask the background agent to create a small game into our application. So I said, please create a tic-tac-toe game on the homepage so I can play while I wait for the page to refresh. So we can also start a background agent as well. If we go on cursor.com/agents, then we select the repository that we want to create the pull request in. So here I'll paste, so in the web interface, I'll paste another prompt, but I'll just say create a snake game on the homepage. And from the code editor, I'll ask create a tic-tac-toe game so we can see how the background agents interact with each other as well. So start one background agent here. And I'll start one background agent here. We can see that the virtual machine is being started. We can see the logs of the virtual machine. If we check out here, the progress, we could also see a very similar thing. And by the way, the web interface also received the request from the code editor. What happens under the hood is that whenever we send the prompt with the background agent to Cursor, the Cursor starts a virtual machine. The background agent in the virtual machine fetches the code from our repository, then works on this, implements the feature, and then comes back to us and says, okay, it's implemented. So we can review the code locally, or we can make a pull request. If we make a pull request, it will go to GitHub, to the same repository. We can review it, we can approve it, we can decline it, merge it, and so on. And I'll show you everything now. We could also click this icon to see the background agents. We see that on this computer, we started this background agent, but in the background there altogether two background agents because we started one from the web interface and one from the editor. In background, we can track all the background agents that are working. So if you work on a team with multiple people, you could see the background agents in the repository, which I think is really cool. We could click in Cursor on the background agent and see that it's doing work. And from the web interface, we can see the same thing. We could ask Cursor for follow-up instructions here. So we could ask it to change the background color or something else, but we don't have follow-ups right now. And another thing is you can click open in Cursor. So we open a third way to see the same thing here, and it would open the changes in Cursor editor as well. What I would like to do now is first apply the changes locally to see that they work, and then I'll create a pull request. We'll apply the changes locally and let's see what happens. Just as a reminder, that's the starting applications that we had. And now we would apply the tic-tac-toe game to homepage changes locally. We could say git status, git diff. So we see that changes have been applied. We could navigate them through the usual way. And if we go to the homepage and refresh it, we could play a game. And here's the game that we're playing that has been implemented. Player X wins. Now that I'm happy with the changes locally, I'd like to create a branch for review. And by the way, if we look at our repository right now, what has happened is that we have two draft pull requests, one for tic-tac-toe game and one for snake game. If we open pull request, we could see all the code that has been changed. And from cursor editor, we could click either view PR to view this draft PR, or we could click open PR, which would change the status of the PR from draft to ready to review. And additionally, we could do the same thing from the web interface. So the code editor and the web interface, they're both really powerful. But anyways, let's finally open the pull request for the tic-tac-toe game on the homepage. And then we can view the pull request. Once we click view pull request, we go on this page. We can see the files that have been changed. We can merge it either via GitHub or we could merge it via cursor as well. Squash and merge. To summarize, we can apply changes locally. We can check out in a different branch. We can open a pull request. We can view pull request. We could open the chat here, add a follow-up instruction that would be applied to the pull request. And we have the same capabilities via the web interface as well. It's a bit confusing to have many ways to do the same thing, but I think Cursor team is just figuring out how to consolidate the experience a bit. One last thing in this video, as I promised, we'd like to have a look at BugBot, which is the AI code reviewer from Cursor. For this, we'll go back to Cursor's dashboard and we'll click BugBot. And we'll make sure that it's connected to GitHub as well. We'll give it access to my GitHub and we already see that Cursor has access to the repository that I care about. So the only thing that I need to do right now is under my pull request, write cursor review or BugBot run. So here I could say cursor review. And BugBot would jump in and help us. Now this is a bit strange because BugBot would be reviewing code that Cursor wrote, but you could use BugBot for reviewing code of your teammates, for example, as well. And by the way, this description on the pull request here has been also generated by Cursor's BugBot because we have enabled it here by use installation defaults in the BugBot user interface. So this is really cool to be able to automatically generate pull request reviews. It saves a lot of work and a lot of mental overhead. And BugBot comes back with BugBot reviewed your changes and found no bugs. We're really happy with it. That's all I wanted to share about background agents in Cursor and BugBot. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time.